So my name is Shivy Williams. I am your health, wellness, and fitness accountability coach, and I help you reach your goals by holding you accountable for reaching them. And one way I do that is by giving you guys some motivating and encouraging messages to get through, right? Through the day, through the week, through the month, through the year, it doesn't matter. Just to get through the minute or the second. So today's message is going to be on this stupid thorn. Really, it's about this stupid thorn on my side, right? So today's message actually is going to come from 2 Corinthians 12:7-10. I'm going to read this from the New King James Version. So I'm kind of excited about this because I was thinking about this earlier in the week and I should have did the message earlier, but here it is. Unless I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of the revelations, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. Concerning this thing, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So how can this verse right here, there's so many ways we can go with this, right? But the way I'm going to go with this is how it deals with our health, wellness, and fitness. So sometimes, sometimes on this journey, there are certain things that happen, right? Like you may get off with your eating and you're not very consistent in certain areas and the number on the scale just doesn't move and all kinds of things. But let me tell you something. Sometimes God will place a thorn in your side because he wants you to depend on him for your healthy lifestyle journey, right? So, and sometimes he may not take certain things away from you because his grace is sufficient already. So let's talk about a few things. So let's just say, for example, there's a lot of things that you can do on this journey, right? And so, but let's just say, for example, what might be a thorn? For me, my thorn is water, right? I don't know why I struggle with it so much, but I really do. I struggle getting 64 ounces of water in. I do. I struggle really hard with that. And it's like, I work out a lot. I need to do it. I try and I'm drinking water and then, right? So for me, water is a thorn in my side because I'm telling you, I wish it was just easy for me to do that. And so when I thought about it this week, I thought about how we all struggle in this area and how God's grace is sufficient for whatever area we struggle in. What makes it even better for us is when we struggle in that area, we get to tell other people the truth. Hey, I'm struggling in that area also. Just don't give up, right? So even no matter what your thorn is, if it is exercise, if it is eating, healthier options, if it is not getting enough rest, if it's water, whatever your thorn is, please know that God's grace is sufficient. The other thing is that you don't want to give up. Don't give up just because you have a thorn in your side, right? Don't give up because you struggle with water. Don't give up because you struggle with eating. Some people, their struggle or their thorn is they have allergies. They are allergic to certain foods. And maybe at one point, they could eat those things. Maybe they could eat like even a healthy option. Maybe at one point they were able to eat certain kind of fruits and it didn't bother them. And then all of a sudden, they ate it and they had an allergic reaction to it. And then they're praying, asking God, I used to be able to eat this. I really like it a lot. Can you take these allergies away? But God does not take the allergies away, right? He just is like, my grace is sufficient for you. Same with, exercising, right? So let's just say at one point, like for me, I used to be able, not long ago, but a few years ago, I used to be able to run. Although I don't like running, I used to be able to run like a 3.1 mile in like 28 minutes. I got off this gear. I was running today. In 38 minutes, I did 2.62 miles, right? And so sometimes I think about that, I'm like, man, I used to be so much faster. But you know what? Sometimes that may just be the thorn in my side for God to say, no, my grace is sufficient. I want you to only do this, right? Don't worry about where you used to be. I have given you grace to do what you're doing right now. So now you can take this into your life. A lot of you can look at what's going on in the world today, right? And say, man, I wish I still had my job, right? You losing your job may be a thorn in your side, but God has graced you during this time, right? Not to lose your home, still to be able to get something to eat, take care of your children. So what you may feel like is a thorn in your side, right? God has given you the grace to go through that, right? The grace to sit in the house all this time, the grace to work and be in the same house with your children, right? The grace to, some of you have the grace of peace, right? Maybe you were very frustrated at first. Now you have the grace of peace. So just know that because you have a thorn in your side, it is not a bad thing. Just because God will not get rid of that thing, regardless of what it is, the older we get, the less endurance we have, right? Compared to when we were younger, or like you're 60, the less endurance you had when you were 50 and 40. It does not matter because God graces us for the time that we are in currently. And you may never go back. You may never go back to that. That's why God says his grace is sufficient in all things, right? And so even with that grace, and as we get older, and as our bodies make all these different changes, and sometimes people pray and they do everything they can, and they end up being sick, but guess what? We pray, if we get sick or get a cold, God still would say, my grace is sufficient, even if you pray and say, oh, I really want to be healed, right? Sometimes God may not heal you. That is his prerogative. He may not heal you, but still his grace is sufficient. And even if he doesn't heal you, you still have a testimony for other people. So just remember that. Just remember that regardless of what you're going through, regardless of how you feel like, oh my God, I'm in such a bad situation right now. If it comes to eating, if it comes to your job, if it comes to your children, if it comes to work in general, if it comes to having to hate to sit in the house, if it comes to bills, whatever your thorn may be right now, God's grace is sufficient. All right, y'all. So that's my message for today. I hope you guys on your journey just continue to show up, be consistent, and also allow God to work with you where you're at in your journey, right? And sometimes you can work really, really, really hard, and it may not show up the way you want it to show up. A lot of times we want things to show up on the scale to say, oh my God, I lost weight. Maybe your thorn is your scale and you just need to get rid of the scale, right? You'll still have the thorn, but just get rid of the scale. And what you may find is that your clothes are getting too big, right? So who cares about the number on the scale because you're losing inches. So just know sometimes we have a thorn, and God will leave that thorn there because his grace is sufficient. All right, y'all, I'm going to go. I have to clean up and get ready for the day. And plus, I just finished working out. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody. Keep pushing on. Things are gonna get better.